Getting down here?
Yes, sir. Down the ramp. And we have people lined up on the left over here. Some union leaders and workers.
Hey, guys and ladies.
Your mark is going to be the blue one to the left.
How y'all doing?
You've got a blue mark, and that's okay.
I'll stay in my blue mark, and then I'm going to say hello to each one of you.
Yes, sir. I'll help you get started.
What does it really say about a major political party if its would-be leaders with presidential aspirations are afraid to challenge the current zombie carcass face of their brand? Because really the timing couldn't be any better for a fresh candidate to step into the fray and launch a campaign. By a 2-to-1 margin, Democrats want a fresh face to be their standard bearers in the 2024 election. So how cowardly really are the Democrat would-be leaders of the free world if they won't take the lead in this political no-brainer? How can it be that no one will take advantage of this incredible moment to challenge the status quo and seize an unparalleled opportunity to blast into the race with massive name recognition? Launching a primary challenge now would also give the challenger a huge advantage in fundraising. And even though the election is still 19 months away, time is of the essence. Axios notes that if Biden, quote, ultimately chooses to bow out, the late decision could prove an advantage to Vice President Kamala Harris if she wanted to run for president, and it could foreclose options for the Democrats, unquote. This is truly pathetic, people. Even Democrats dislike Kamala Harris. Her overall approval has been underwater for the vast majority of her term as vice president, and she famously dropped out of the primary in the 2020 election after failing to break single digits among Democrat voters. She is a truly terrible candidate. In fact, neither Biden nor Harris is a strong candidate against the top-tier Republican names being bandied about. Recent polling, for what that's worth anymore, shows former President Donald Trump nearly tying or else beating Biden in a rematch. Yet the more time that elapses without a challenge to President Joe Biden, the more cemented he, or God forbid Kamala, becomes as the 2024 Democrat candidate. Another great reason for a Democrat challenger to announce a challenge now is that word with which leftists are so enthralled: historic. How is no brash young challenger seizing the opportunity to become a historic candidate to challenge as a sitting president, especially a candidate of color, or a woman, or a rainbow person, or whatever? Biden really has no reason to announce his candidacy anytime soon, as Axios explains. Quote, what we're hearing, Biden and his inner circle don't see drawbacks to the president taking his time. He doesn't have a significant primary challenger, so for a while he can stay above the campaign fray and focus on governing, as if. Biden advisors also believe that waiting has a potential upside. It allows him to contrast his leadership from the Oval Office with the chaos in the Republican Party and the drama surrounding former President Trump's indictment. No Republican candidate or potential candidate will affect our timing, Biden advisor told Axios. Biden has a trip to Ireland coming in mid-April and must deal with the debt ceiling and budget standoff with House Republicans early this summer. Between the lines, the announcement timeline also could be affected by his advisor's desire for strong initial fundraising numbers to avoid news reports about a lack of enthusiasm or vulnerability. Presidential candidates are required to disclose their totals after each quarter. The first fundraising quarter for 2023 is passed, and the second fundraising quarter runs April 1st to June 30th. If Biden waits until May, some advisors might want to push the announcement until the third quarter, which begins in July. But fundraising can be difficult in July and August, so some advisors and allies think Biden's re-election announcement could be delayed to the fall, although most don't believe Biden will wait that long. Bottom line, there's no mechanism pushing Biden to announce his re-election campaign soon, and there's no sign he will, unquote. So yeah, signal to any Democrat with presidential aspirations. It's wide open. Jump in. And least we forget it's possible that Biden will ultimately choose not to run for re-election, or that he will have a health emergency that precludes his candidacy. And were that to happen, a chaotic free-for-all would erupt, as names and campaigns are launched in rapid succession. And by then, well, it would be too late. This incredibly charged and opportune moment to become the alternative face of the Democrat Party, well, it'll be gone forever. Now, on the Republican side, 2024 candidates are already stepping up. Naturally, former President Donald Trump is the frontrunner. He's basically the incumbent. But unlike the neutered Democrats, other Republicans are comfortable announcing candidacies and challenging Trump. Former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, one of my favorite neocons, and former Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson, he's a big name in the LGBTQ community, have already announced their candidacy. Ron DeSantis hasn't officially announced and is focusing on continuing to make Florida great, but everyone knows he's running. And when the time comes, no one doubts DeSantis has the fortitude to announce his candidacy if he wants to. Because unlike Democrats, Republicans are individuals with cojones. And unlike the Democrat Party, the Republican Party is open to things like choices, opinions, debate, and different ideas. For their part, it seems no Democrat can muster the guts or cojones to challenge the pathetic dementia patient inhabiting the People's White House to seize this historic opportunity. They would prefer to wait and see if Biden's handlers allow and select someone else to assume the position, because, you see, it's really all about the handlers behind the curtain. But then, if no candidate can even step up and run, and if the Democrat Party is so inflexible and intolerant of any challenge to the dominant machine, then how could any would-be president who runs only if clearly incompetent Biden declines presume to lead the free world anyway? In closing, this is what happens when a party renounces its Americanism and instead takes up socialist communist aspirations. No one can do anything without the party's permission. It's pathetic all around, the opposite of American, and deeply, deeply unhealthy. Most of this came by way of PJ Media. If you liked it, hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Leave a comment down below. There's a PayPal link in the description box, so please put $1 in the bucket on the way out the door. I'd like to thank everyone for all your donations. They're much needed and much appreciated. Now, with all that being said, we'll see you next time.
Come on, move. Move. Easy, easy.